Right everyone, Shay here, Ollie about. Hope you're well. As you can see, the Christmas decorations are down. We are well and truly into the new year. Hope you guys had a good start. But yeah, just want to get into another video. This time I'm going to be talking about the future of England's batting in reference to 3 players in particular, and I'll probably delve into the Lions squad as well a little bit later on into the video. But initially, I just want to talk about 3 guys that are currently in the England team actually at the moment, and the second test being played at Newland. The time of this video, second day just happened, so yeah, England are in the driving seat. Surprise, but yeah, they are. But very well bowled today. But anyway, as for England's performance with the bat on day 1, I want to kind of hold in 3 people because I think they're very important to England's future for now anyway, but hopefully they can kick on. But the 3 people I'm referring to are Zach Crawley, Dominic Sibley and Ollie Pope. You know, for me, it's England need to find someone very soon who can shore up this batting. They, I think I mentioned before in previous videos about England's test batting malaise and the fact that it's struggling quite heavily. I think they haven't made 400 in the first innings more than twice since back in 2017. So obviously over a year now, they've only made 400 twice, which is obviously not at all. So they need to rest a slide and they need some batsmen coming through. So I looked obviously at the guys that are coming through at the moment. The guys have been given a chance. We have said Zach Crawley and Dominic Sibley at the top of the order. Now I think it's well documented that since Strauss retired in 2012, after they lost the Test series to South Africa at home, and the #1 Mace with it as well. I think Cook had about, I don't know, 12, 13 partners. I mean, I think about Sam Robson, Michael Carberry, people like obviously Trott came back briefly in the West Indies. Moeen Ali's been tried there. Adam Lythe. I think I said Sam Robson already, didn't I? Yeah, Robson 2014. More recently, we've had like people like Matt Stoneman. Going back actually, we had Nick Compton in South Africa actually, the last series. He made 85 in Durban in the 2015-16 series. But yeah, Matt Stoneman has been tried more recently. Played the Ashes series. Who else? And then obviously now, since Cook retired, Rory Burns has stepped in sort of shoes. And well, I think at the moment, to be fair, I think we're looking now at someone to partner Rory Burns. I think Rory Burns is settling enough now. We can say, okay, Burns is the #1 choice to open the batting, along with someone. And obviously now Dominic Sibley has that opportunity. Dominic Sibley, obviously 24 years old, made the jump from Surrey to Warwickshire. Couldn't really get a game at Surrey as much as he'd liked. He was playing middle order at the time as well, not just opening the batting. But I think Warwickshire promised him he could open, so he's gone. They went there. He's done really well, and he's been given this opportunity, and it's worked out for him. And he's the man to occupy the role at the moment. But do we think he's good enough? I mean, I think personally. I mean, listen, he's only played a few tests. The jury's still out. So I do believe. I think in today's times. It all kind of depends in the context of where the team's at and also who they're playing against. I mean, if you're playing against, say, India away, it's kind of your debut series, for example, let's say. You think about Asim Mead. I think Jennings also made his debut in that series, the 2016-17 series. Did very well. Henson being back in the squad for the Sri Lanka series, I believe, next year, because they know he's a good player of spin. But, if you play a certain very different, notoriously difficult series for your debut, you probably deserve an opportunity, I would say, at home for sure. I mean, if you build a reputation scoring runs, obviously in home conditions, I think you deserve an opportunity to play in your backyard, at least for 3 to 4 tests to see where you're at. England have the luxury, not luxury, but they've got the kind of, schedule now where they're playing teams where it's not, not saying the most. I mean, obviously there are, especially because given the strength of England's cricket team at the moment, they're all fairly tough series. But you know, West Indies, Pakistan, Sri Lanka away is going to be a very tough assignment. I think it's going to be, obviously it's going to be much harder than it was 18 months ago. Level less than that, but it's going to be a lot harder than the last time we were there. So I think it's going to be a tough one. But I think with West Indies and Pakistan at home, they've got opportunities there to kind of bed in a any kind of, you know, batsman that they want to go forward with heading into the Ashes and beyond in 2 years' time. But I think, you know, I think Sibley deserves an opportunity at home ideally as well. I mean, as after this series go to Sri Lanka, he'll get opportunity there. No, it might work out that actually that'll be his last opportunity in Sri Lanka. He might even get even to go there, but hopefully he does, because he does well obviously in this series in South Africa. But if he doesn't, then yeah, I feel a bit harsh on the guy. But we'll have to wait and see. I mean, I think he deserves a fairly lengthy opportunity. I just think, you know, playing New Zealand away, South Africa away, then Sri Lanka away, you know, it's a bit harsh if he gets discarded after that and doesn't get to play the home series, but I guess the time of these things, that's the way it works out. Zach Crawley obviously is the guy that's there as well. I think out the three of, you know, him, Sibley and Pope, I think that he's the most vulnerable. I mean, he's quite a very tall guy. I think it was 6'5" or something, but he bats quite low. Seems to ride the ball quite well, especially off his pads. But I don't know. I think obviously he's at the least amount of pedigree, I'd say. I mean, the same age, very similar age to Ollie Pope. But I think Ollie Pope has been a lot more prolific in the county championship. So, and I would say that Zach Crawley said he has a fairly mediocre record for Kent, but I think they saw something in him that would, you know, maybe signal that he could perform in a test arena. Hasn't worked out yet, but again, he's only played with 3 innings. If it's nothing, isn't it? So I think even that being said, I don't know. I think it all depends on who performs in the Lions tour, which I'll get into in a bit, but I think it's probably the most vulnerable. It's the least secure person out of the 3. And then you also got Ollie Pope in the middle order. Now, I think just before we get to Pope, I mean, what I'm trying to say is obviously is that England are crying out for a solid opening batsman again now. I think with the loss of Cook and Strauss. I mean, Cook was just a wonderful player for England over the course of his career. I mean, it spanned something, 13 years. It's phenomenal for England. Strauss is a very solid player as well. And obviously, you go before that, you've got the likes of Atherton, so you go before that, you've got the likes of Graham Gooch. And, you know, England have always had a solid affiliate, you know, Trescothick as well, so obviously there as well, you know. They've had, you know, solid openers at Test level for a long time, but they don't seem at the moment they're struggling a bit. I really hope Rory Burns will kick on. I think he can. I think he can probably go on to average in your 40s. So he just needs someone, you know, a dance partner. Whether Crawley and Sibley are the ones, we'll have to wait and see. But they do need ideally one of them two, because I don't know who else behind them. I mean, Daniel Bell-Drummond, I had a lot of high hopes for, actually. Especially in the South Africa 2012 series. He scored 100 when South Africa toured. I think Dale Steyn said that he had a lot of potential. I think then he was like 19 years old or something when he made those runs. But he didn't kick on. I don't think it was a 2017 series. I'm pretty sure it was a 2012 series that Bell-Drummond made the 100. I'm almost certain of that. I mean, guys, let me know in the comments below, but I'm pretty sure it was a 2012 series that he made those runs. But I think, like, Bell-Drummond hasn't really kicked on, and I think it was Crawley and Sibley don't succeed, then they're going to be in a bit of trouble about who's going to come in to kind of replace either one of them and, you know, go with Burns. I think they might give, because of that reasoning, I think they might give Sibley, extended opportunity, hopefully extending into next summer. That'd be ideal. So I think he's probably the man ahead of Crawley at the moment. And I go to Ollie Pope. He looks a very fine player, actually. I really like the looks of him. I like the look of him. I think, again, I always refer to this because I think it's very important, but I do think he's a guy with a lot of confidence. I think if you're a 21, 22-year-old coming into the setup and you want to perform, and you are performing, I think you've obviously got something about you which is critical at this time at the moment for England. I don't think I think they need more characters like that to be able to kind of move on from, you know, the previous era. Because they need solid people coming in. I mean, you go back a few years. Let's go back even say 6 years to the last but one Ashes tour, and you had your Petersons and you got your Stokes there who's coming through, and you've got Jonathan Trott was there, Cook was there. You know, you've got solid middle. You know, Ian Bell was still there at the time, so you've got solid players there. They haven't had a kind of a new up-and-coming batsman into the middle order batsman, a young middle order batsman coming into the setup since James Taylor. I don't think anyone else has comes to mind, actually. And that was, 2012? I think James Taylor was like 22 years old. You know, I think Ollie Pope could be that next person. I mean, you think of Ian Bell, you go back to, you know, the noughties, and then you've got obviously 2010s. You've got so James Taylor, and now Ollie Pope is someone I think could maybe make that middle order spot his own. I can actually see him going up the order as time goes on. I think I think what they're doing with Pope is kind of a throwback where not just England, with a lot of test teams, where you chuck them in at 6 and you kind of work the way up slowly but surely. I think about Stephen Smith. I mean, I think he batted at 8 actually one time when he was batting, and bowling as well. You know, when he first made his debut, he was batting as low as 8. But I think Ricky Ponting in the 97 series in England, Ashes series in England, he's batting at 6. Obviously made 3 his own, but you know, he took time to bed in. I think there's always a clamour to get really good players, like middle order, up the order, if it's obviously top order issues. You know, I think Ollie Pope is probably too good a batsman to eventually to stick at 6, and if he is that talented, then he should be batting higher up. So I do hope they do that with him. I mean, I think I said before, I like Stokes at 6. Joe Denley obviously is probably is a short-term solution. I hope he actually kicks on, you know, but he's probably a short-term solution. So Pope is at a great age, and I think he'd be a really good player at, you know, kind of 4 or 5, and maybe he'll make number 3 as well when Denley's ready. Maybe he'll bat at 5 next summer, and then get to 4. But then Root's already made 4 his own, so probably stay at 5, and then when Denley's ready to drop off, if that's through, you know, form or just age, I imagine probably more to do with form, because I don't think now he's got a spot in the team, it'll be very hard for him to let go. He probably bats till he drops, you know what I mean? So I think if the form comes into it, then I think they've got, you know, if Pope is doing well at 5, then he can become that guy at 3 to replace Denley, because I think Root will stay at 4 for the long term. So I think that they've got someone there they can work with, and, you know, kind of move up the order to solidify that top order, because if you can get an opening batsman to bat with Burns, let's say Sibley-Crawley, or let's say Sibley or Crawley for now, if not someone else, then you've got, say, Pope at 3, and then Root at 4. All of a sudden, your top 4 becomes a lot more solid going into the Ashes series in 2 years' time. Then you've got something to build on, because if you've got the likes other than you know, let's say the middle order batsman comes into it, and that's where they've actually got more options as a team, England, and just more options available, people outside the current England squad. Then you've got Stokes at 6, and then Butler, etc. You know, going forward, they've got then a much stronger top 7, where they can go to Australia and compete, as opposed to getting, you know, smashed again as we normally do. So yeah, I'm excited about that. So like I said, England really need now, because of their batting, because it's the established players aren't performing consistently enough. They need one Crawley, Sibley, and Pope to fire. So I do think the guy is going to be Ollie Pope. I'd say if I rank it on, you know, then I'd say obviously Sibley, jury's out. Crawley, I mean, I think I've got a feeling like Crawley might be one who will fall away, and that he'll maybe make a comeback in a couple of years' time. Might got to go back, learn his craft, play more red ball with Kent, get his average up, start plotting some more runs, and then come back into the setup at a later date, you know. And I'm sure we'll hear the interviews about saying how, oh yeah, learned so much from initial experience with England and I'm a far best player now. And that's probably what's going to happen at his age. It doesn't, you know, I said Pope and Crawley are pretty much the same age. It doesn't mean they're mentally the same, you know. Pope just making the adjustments. But then one thing I would say is, and this is a testament to maybe how good county cricket is, that, you know, rather than always slag it off, he's plundered Romton County cricket. He's been very successful in a short period of time there, and he's gone into England setup and had a couple of issues. It's not been all fantastic. I mean, the Pakistan series, you know, he was dropped, but he was dropped for the Sri Lanka series. He was dropped for memory. Was the India series? I think he was dropped for the Sri Lanka series. You know, it's not been all plain sailing for him. So for that reason, you know, but you know, he's still been able to kind of get over that, you know, those hiccups early on, and then he's come back to the team and done well so far. So I have high hopes. I mean, I'm a bit biased. I am, you know, I do like Surrey. So and reason being, I'm from St Helens, from North, but my favourite player growing up was always Graham Thorpe. So I always liked Thorpe. So I always kind of attached up to Surrey, you know. So I'll try and get down there a couple of times a year when I can. So I'll be going this summer for sure as well. I don't think we'll be seeing Ollie Pope. I think he'll be out of the Surrey team by then anyway. So, because he'll be playing so much for England. So, but yeah, anyway, by the by. But yeah, so I do think that's a Pope will hopefully make the grade and, you know, shore up this England batting. Just to go over to the Lions squad, because I was actually looking at that. I was thinking, okay, well, what if Sibley or Crawley don't make it? Who else is there, or who's the options that England have got going into this summer at home against West Indies and Pakistan? Because I think that's a good time to bed in, you know, 1 or 2 new players. I think bowling and batting, but we'll concentrate on bowling for now in this video. Sorry, I mean batting for this video. And I've actually had a look at the Lions squad before, and just I've got it written out actually here. So I looked at the people in the, you know, who are going to be in the 4-day squad for the Lions tour in Australia starting next month. You've got Sam Hayne of Warwickshire, Dan Lawrence of Essex, you've got James Bracey of Gloucestershire, and you've got Sibley, Keaton Jennings and Zach Crawley, obviously, who are current or former. Well, basically 3 players who played at test level already. So Keaton Jennings, I mean, he's been like just back and forth and like a bloody yo-yo, like guy, isn't it? They see something in him. I mean, he's 26 almost now, I think. So he's getting into a position now where he needs to really kick on, and if he's going to get into the England team, then he needs to make sure it counts. I mean, he's been in and out since he came into the side in 2016 in that really good series he had in India. Did well in Sri Lanka, you know, and I've seen pick for Sri Lanka again. But at home, he's been actually quite poor. So I'm still not convinced on Keaton Jennings. I'd like to see someone new personally. Very interested to see how Asiba Mead goes at Nottinghamshire after being released by Lancashire. I think he's almost 23, and I think it's maybe a bit of a shame how his career's worked out at Lancs the past couple of years. It's just gone south on it really for that guy. But if he can, you know, get back to somewhere approaching the level he was 3 years ago, he's a very strong candidate to partner Rory Burns, or just open the batting, let's say, for now. I think a lot of people be watching him, which might not be a good thing actually for him, because I'm not sure how his temperament is. I know he showed a lot of guts and fights in the India series, but something maybe is you know, getting him down a bit, and that's why it's not really worked out at Lancashire. But we don't know the ins and the outs, do we really? So I think maybe a new lease of life with Moores behind him, you know, supporting him. You know, hopefully Peter Moores can kind of, you know, instill confidence back into him and get him to find his form he had a few years ago and get him back into the England setup. I mean, Sibley and Crawley is interesting that they're in that squad as well. The fact that they're in that squad makes me think that the selectors feel like they still need kind of, you know, the highest possible level of 4-day, you know, Red Bull experience outside of the actual England full team. So, you know, rather than, you know, time to go back to the counties, going to be going to Australia. So I think they feel they're part of the setup, but they do need some more refining you know, at a high level. I think going with a lot of the line squad is a good thing, actually. I think it's a good thing for them to do. And then who else they've got? They've got Dan Lawrence, James Bracey, Sam Haines. Sam Haines, the guy who's, you know, he's done pretty well, actually. He did well last year. I think, obviously, Trot finished. Bell's pretty much finished now, I think. I'm not sure if Bell's officially finished in Warwickshire, but Haines did well last summer. And he's 24 now, I think, so he's at a good age where he might come into the setup as well. But with Haines, James Bracey of Gloucestershire, playing Div 2 cricket, he can, you know, I don't know that much. I've seen a little bit of him in last year. I didn't see a huge amount of him, just kind of highlights and stuff like that. So I don't know too much about him. Maybe, guys, if you any Gloucestershire fans out there, you can tell me. Then just leave it in the comments below. But he's a key batsman, so I think the reasonably well starts in the area. I think you've obviously got, I think Butler. I mean, for me, it's Ben Folk should be the second guy there, and then you've got, dare I say, Johnny Bairstow. But yeah, anyway, enough of that. But yeah, so it's actually interesting. Ben Folk, sorry, he's not in the line setup, because I think they think that he's really part of the first team squad. So I think, you know, because of that, it'll be interesting to see what happens with Folks next summer. I think it's an important year for him, actually. A lot of people talk about, like, maybe Folks keeping and Butler batting. That's an option, I guess. So all these things are in play at the moment, I'd say, about what's going to happen for the England middle order going forward. I think they'd be flexible. The only thing I would say is, whatever you do, just get Johnny Bairstow out the setup for now. Get him out the setup, because he shouldn't be there. Simple as that. Anyway, it's late. It's like 2:15 in the morning. Ain't going into Johnny Bairstow right now. I'm not going to speak about Johnny Bairstow 2:15 in the morning, because I'll be here till 3:15 in the morning. So yeah. Anyway, have a quick little sip. Sorry guys, talking so much that this has gone cold. Anyway, so yeah, Dan Lawrence, he didn't have that great summer last year for Essex, but if he can, you know, do well this year, he's young as well. He's at 23, so all these guys, you know, are at the right age to kind of do well for the Lions, go back to the counties, do well there, and then make a charge for the team next summer. Let's hope so. That's what I want to see. I just want to see competition in places, because to me, that England top 7 is so fragile right now. There are spaces up for grabs. There has to be spaces up for grabs. If you can hit, you know, score runs early doors in April for your county, you've got to be in with a shout for that first test. You've got to be in with a shout. You know, I think the West Indies series is first, so you've got to be in with a shout for that first test. You know, so let's just hope, yeah, some of these guys can do well, you know, for on the Lions tour, and then go back and do well for the counties, because I think they'll be knocking on the door heavily, and I wouldn't be surprised to see one or two of these guys from who have said get into that team, you know, next summer. And I'm thinking more along the lines of kind of the Sam Haines and the Dan Lawrences, and maybe even Jennings. I don't know. I wouldn't go down that road again, but I have to wait and see. Anyway, that's my, you know, kind of 2 pennies worth. Just, yeah, I want to make a video on that, just on those 3 bats in particular, and kind of just people in and around the setup and what's going to happen to that middle order over the next 12 months or so. But anyway, guys, if you like the content, please do like, comment, and subscribe. As I always say, do appreciate support. So yeah, that's me done for this one. I will catch you all on the next one. Cheers.